New York City, we have crowned another champion. LeBron James is victorious. Anthony Davis has accomplished the glory, and the Lakers are the champions again. If that's the best the NBA has to offer, we are going to slap them next year. Let's talk about it. It's the front office. I I want to welcome everybody back to the front office pod. We didn't want to ram content down your throat when we didn't really have anything to talk about. But my partner Sam and I, Sam, say hello to the people.
Nets Nation, hopefully about 12 months from now, maybe a little less if it's a shortened season or whatever, we're also going to be hoisting up the Larry O'Brien. So
See, you went right for it. You went right to it. Like I like that because I feel the same. New York City, I wanted to talk to you guys about the playoffs first, about what we saw. My esteemed partner, tell me what give me your biggest takeaway from the bubble playoffs.
yeah, obviously, first off, like kudos to the NBA for getting it done. You see like all the positive tests in the other sports. It looks like baseball, looks like they're getting it done, but the NFL, like I think everyone's kind of holding their breath on what happens there. But
I think
I mean,
I just want to quickly touch on that as well because I think they deserve to be commended. I I think that was the biggest miracle was the marketing and just the overall quality of the games. Like it could have felt like an empty gym, and the NBA just did an amazing job and kept the guys safe. And you know what I think in terms of platform for people playing, doing what makes you great, what gives you the voice, what gives you the platform is what is more powerful and effective for us, because the people who didn't play, we barely know what they're doing, and it really hasn't helped the movement not playing. But I want to send a lot of kudos and thanks to those guys, especially, for those in the African American community, of how much they stood up for us and what we believed in, and using those airwaves, being on ABC, being on ESPN, being on TNT to bring attraction to a serious problem. And I'm very thankful and appreciative to the players who played at great risk for themselves and got it done.
yeah, no, absolutely. So I think that was well said. I mean, look, I think the way that you started off the podcast is actually a bit how I think, in the sense that like I wasn't look the games themselves were very competitive and they were close and everything, but I wasn't blown away because we don't have that Warrior super team anymore, and I think we're almost back to kind of like where we were pre Warriors, and even to a certain extent pre Heat, where you're like, all right, like all these finals teams are kind of flawed. Like they're not the super duper teams. This is kind of more like your '06 Heat or your 2011 Mavericks.
The teams we don't match up with is not the Boston teams. It's not the Heat teams. Like I'll take my chances against Boston or the Heat. It's the big teams. It's the teams that have a strategic advantage against us. Like we really have never had a way known how to stop Giannis. The Nets, as currently constituted, has never had a way of really stopping Giannis, and Giannis has had his way with us. And then Joel Embiid, and Ben Simmons just outbig us. And I think those were the teams that I was worried about, and to see them get manhandled and to see them break break from a character standpoint. Because I still think Giannis is the most talented guy in the NBA, not named LeBron James. In terms of just being a player that's all fast twitch muscle. He's just a phenom. You know what I mean? Like when I look at KD, I see the most skilled scorer of any player in the NBA. But when I see a LeBron or a Giannis, I just think that there is irresistible forces, and I didn't think anybody in the East had anything to stop him, and to see him be humbled and for them to not have enough offense. Oh, offense is the thing that's gonna win out. We are going to slap them, all of them. Everybody's getting slapped next year. I'm kind of getting to the chase too, partner. Like, who scares you based off of watching this playoffs? Who challenges you and scares you?
I mean, I think everything that I think every roadblock in front of the Nets, I think most of them are going to be internal ones. To be honest, like I think they got to figure out like what the exact roster construction is. Which I think is something like we've talked about and probably will again bring up today, and it won't get answered for it seems like a month or two or three, whatever however long it's going to be, however long this offseason is going to be. And I don't know. I mean, look, it's interesting because I think there's two ways to kind of digest the playoffs. I think one way is like, look, the East, the Bucks were like this. The Bucks were kind of an on steroids version of those Hawks teams, which was like a one seed that really isn't fit for the playoffs, and because of that, there was no really like other great second team, and the Heat basically got hot and they made the finals.
So,
And then
okay.
and then from a West perspective, I think it's kind of like, all right, well, like the Clippers clearly were the team that like was probably most not fit for the bubble because they clearly didn't like each other, and so they probably needed the time away from there.
I just think they had too many fuck ups on one team. Like, they had too many like mentally soft players. They had too many I need to be at the strip club players. They had too many guys who just do their own thing. And the other thing that's happening to the Clippers is that they're getting older. Like, to be depending on Pat Beverly is not going to be a chosen thing going forward.
Yeah, and so I think right, and so like I agree that with all that said, like I think if you're looking at, but for me, I'm looking at the East going forward, and I think basically every team has like insane question marks. Like I don't including ours. Like we don't really know. Like I mean, look, the big name stuff. Like, I mean, we're going to see how KD comes off the Achilles, and we're going to see how Kyrie comes back, and we're going to see how like the Nets have as many questions as anybody. I think we're just confident because I think we like the way everyone gels together. But like, I mean, I think the Celtics have issues because they have no more cap space. They're running out of picks. I'm assuming Hayward will opt in for another year, and like I think Tatum is really good, and I think Brown is really good, but like Kemba's already having like the knee stuff that kind of the older, smaller point guards get. And the Sixers are coming in with Doc, who I don't particularly think is that good of a I'm like, I mean, I just